Hi, this is Tech Medica here, and I'm here to bring you another tutorial of some sort, or just for funsies, whatever you want to watch this for. But basically, I'm going to be showing you how to replace a trigger button, and today we are going to be replacing this R button right here. I'm hoping this works. I'm not the best at soldering, but I'm going to just show you the basics. So I highly recommend before we begin is that you have at least a semi-decent flux of some sort. This is kind of broken, but don't mind that. So you need semi-decent flux of some sort. I also recommend that you have a soldering station, at least a semi-nice one. It doesn't have to be the best one in the world, but at least one that can function and do most things, like at least some micro soldering. I also highly recommend an air station, but that's not an air soldering station, but that is not necessary because then you have to spend, already you're spending like 80 bucks on those two things alone. But if you have that air station, it makes removing it way faster than with just the regular soldering iron. And I'm going to be showing you how to remove it with an air station, but I tend to attach it by the regular soldering iron. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to need our air solderer, that's not the right word, but it's fine. And we're going to need some flux. So this trigger is not doing us any favors, and normally I weigh these down, but I'm being lazy right now, so that's fine, and I'm assuming you don't have a weight of some sort. And we're also going to need some tweezers, I almost forgot, because obviously you can't take it off. Right now I put the wrong temperature. I forgot what temperature I usually do, but usually it's like around the 300s, and I usually have like 7 airflow around there. Okay, so we want to take our soldering tip, and what we want to do is we want to grab our tweezers, and we don't want to force it off because we could rip the pad. And I'm not the master at this, but soldering is not my strong suit, but it is something I at least can manage. And hold on, the camera's moving there. I also recommend, if you're going to do this of any kind, I'm going to switch hands because that might be easier for me. Always make sure you have some ventilation of any kind. Doesn't matter if you have lead-free solder or not. It's not healthy for you to breathe the fumes, and even now I have kind of poor ventilation, but mostly so I can show you guys how to do this. Okay, come on, little guy. And there we go. Came right off. Okay, we're not going to need the air soldering iron. I'm struggling to say that word anymore. So make sure you have a replacement button of some sort. I already have one. These are just cheap ones I got off of eBay. But now, this is before I knew you could buy stuff off AliExpress, but now I recommend you buy them. It's kind of similar, but cheaper. That you buy everything. Most of your parts you should buy from AliExpress. So we're going to put a little more flux on. Hi, this is Future Medica here, and I'm going to be showing you more in depth with this speedy part of the video. So in the beginning here, I was really struggling. I had a long day at work, and it was difficult, and I was tired, so I didn't even know what I was doing at this moment. So as you can see, I'm really struggling putting that button on, and I wanted to really show you guys on how to put it on, but in fact, I was just putting it on wrong the entire time. So it didn't really work out for me too good there, did it? So this is me struggling. I'm constantly trying to anchor it on those 2 anchor points on the side you'll see there. And if you want to do that yourself, you're going to need to anchor it yourself too. There's also 3 little pads at the back too that you have to put on and anchor, but this is just not working for me. I am actually melting the button at this moment. And this is when I start to realize this is not working well, and there I go. I bridged the 2 little pads there, and that will make it not really usable. And I tried to fix that by using my soldering iron and soaking it up, but it just wasn't working. So I gave it one last shot and tried really hard, and then I just went in my air station and decided to start over. If you start over ever, that's totally fine. Just make sure you're gentle with pulling off those pads, because you don't want to rip them off the board, because that would be, not too great. And you can see there I'm prepping the new button and making little like spikes with it so that it's easier, because I remembered at this moment that's what I did originally when I put these buttons on. And so I did that, and it seemed to have worked a little bit better. It was still a little bit wiggly moving around, but This was definitely better. And then you anchor those sides, and now I'm checking the pins, making sure they're good and golden, and voila! Would you look at that? It's looking great. You'll also want to pay special attention to that middle one, the middle pin right there, because that middle pin tends to not collect the solder very well, and it's so tiny and it likes to bridge. And we want to make sure we don't bridge anything. And there I just showed some of the DSs I'm going to work on next. And this is our next little board. This board I tried to repair previously when I was first learning how to repair these guys, but I didn't know what I was doing, and I'm pretty sure it damaged the board slightly. And now I'm prepping the board again, the button again, and seeing if I can just put it right there on the board. And hopefully this will be a smooth transaction. Seems like it. Everything's going well, and I'm flipping the camera around so you guys can see it better because it's on the opposite side. And there I go, putting that back on. And it's definitely being a wiggly woo, but that's normal for buttons. I'm using the tweezers to help pin it down and solder it on there, anchor it on there. It's definitely a challenging, tedious process. This whole process took me about an hour to fix, I think, like 4 boards. This is the second board. And now we're on the third board, and we're moving that trigger, taking it off and getting it off. And we want to make sure we're always gentle taking these guys off, because it's never as easy as it seems. It is kind of difficult, so we want to make sure we pry those off. And there we go, it's off. So now we're going to put a lot of flux on, the more the better. And we're going to prep this next button. So I'm not even giving you one demonstration where I failed at. I'm giving you 2. I'm not giving you 2. I'm not giving you 3, but I'm giving you 4 demonstrations. But right now we're on the third board. The fourth board I'll definitely go more in depth with and tell you a little bit more about what I'm doing, because that was the board that didn't work the other day with our DSs. And would you look at that? This board's already fixed. Checking the pins, making sure they're good, cleaning it off really well. And now back to our regularly scheduled programming. So if you guys remember, this is actually the board we worked on yesterday or the other day. That had a bad trigger. So I've tested it more, and this trigger is definitely bad, so we're going to go ahead and replace it. And I'm going to definitely show you the end result of that. And I hope you enjoy just watching this and watching me work. I personally think it's really fun and fascinating to watch it. You also might be thinking, wow, Medica, you seem to put a lot of flux on there. Well, the thing is, with soldering, you need definitely a lot of flux, or else it's just not gonna, the more the better, basically. You can never have too much flux, I would say. And it's definitely fun to fix these little triggers, especially now that I've kind of figured them out and how they work. I was struggling a little bit in the beginning, but because I haven't done it in such a long while, and then I remembered, oh yeah, this is how you do it. But I definitely, at the end, I'm going to show you guys just all these triggers in action, and hopefully we have every single one of them responding nicely to us. Especially this one, because I definitely want to show you that fully working DS Lite that we didn't get the other day. Kind of got that trigger here. And here's that guy right there. Oh, he flew. It's fine, you got the point. And then we're going to turn off our air gun. Keep calling it air guns, not air gun. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and unravel our next trigger. We need to buy some more triggers, because this is a really common issue, as you can see, since I've already had to repair like 3 boards because of the same issue. And it seems to be gradually, the L trigger seems to be the culprit most of the time, not really the R trigger very often. But it does happen on the R trigger too. Okay, we're going to get that. And again, if any of you guys know how to make smaller tip irons, the new tips work on soldering irons, please let me know, because I am tired and done using this big fat tip. But every new one I buy just doesn't work. I don't know why. I'm thinking about testing in my other new kit to see if the big fat tips work. And maybe it's just my iron's not good enough for the tiny tips. Although I remember when I did have tiny tips for this kit, they worked, but they didn't work very good or very long, if I remember correctly. So we're gonna do our little method again, just by dabbing a little bit of solder on the end, and then we're going to Move this guy up. Okay, and then we're gonna whoop that. This guy's rolling around. We're gonna make little tails. That seems to work best for me. And then we're going to put this. Before we put it there, we need more flux. I just don't want to deal with it not sticking when it should. And if you guys aren't aware, what flux does is it just helps solder flow and make it seal correctly and not be so much a pain, because solder sometimes just likes to do whatever it wants to do, and sometimes that means not sticking to things. Okay, this is definitely crooked, so I'm gonna try to sort that out. Let's probably shouldn't have connected that yet. It's definitely a little crooked. There we go, that helped a little bit. Okay, that seems a lot better. I just realized I'm not showing you anything. There you go. Sorry about that. And then we're gonna force a habit, I guess. Oh, beautiful. That's exactly what I wanted. Okay, and then we're gonna anchor these guys on. Man, I seem to have mastered definitely the triggers pretty fast. I'm kind of proud of myself that I did that. I'm not very good at soldering, but if these all work, I'll be very proud. Okay, it's a little pushed forward. Maybe we can fix that. If we can't, that's fine. As long as it works, who cares? I'm not... Let me see how off it is. I don't know. That doesn't look that bad. It is pretty pushed forward, though. Oh no, I just bridged them. Oh no. I got a little greedy. Oh no. Okay. Alright, we're gonna redo it. I messed up too bad. Okay. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put more flux on here, and then we're going to air gun it again, and hopefully we'll be able to reuse this button. It's a little too much, but let me... So you bridge those pins, and it'll be really hard to fix that after. So I'm just going to redo it and try to make it less leaned forward. Okay, come on, little guy. Kind of melting it, unfortunately. Well, you can't win them all. This is why you shouldn't be greedy. There we go. Let's see if it's still... Oh, that was hot. Don't do what I do. I'm a little impatient sometimes. Okay, let's flatten this out again. Okay, it seems to work still, so we're gonna just do it again. It is a bit melted, crispy, but if it doesn't work, we always can put a new one on. So it's okay. Okay, this is definitely not a pretty one. And it's not perfect by any means, but I'm gonna just see if it'll work anyway. Because unfortunately, this guy is a little too deformed. Doesn't mean it can't do its job though. So we're gonna just work with it as is. There we go. See if it can still do its job. I do have one more board I can fix, but I think I might call it there for now. Since I need more triggers and stuff anyways, I think it'd be best if I do call it here now, because I think I'm going to order some more triggers and do this again sometime, since this is a very common issue, and I think it would be fun to have another time-lapse kind of video like this again. But I'll be back with you guys, and I'll show you the end results and see what we get with these lovely boards, and see if they all work right. If they don't, well, I guess we'll have to start over again, but at least I made a cool video, right? Well, I'll come back later. Okay, as you can see here, we have many boards we have fixed today. We fixed 4 boards in total, so we're going to see if every single one of these works. And hopefully they do, because I would love that. So first we got our L trigger board, and our new buttons, obviously the L trigger. So what we're going to do is we are going to hook a screen to it. Okay, let us turn this puppy on and let's see if the triggers are working. So this is motherboard number 1. And we're going to go to Picto Chat. And I know I'm using tweezers, it's really ghetto. Just go like that. And to test this, it's really simple. Okay, alright. Bro. Success. Okay, motherboard number 1 is a success. Medica's got it in the house. Let's move on to board number 2. Okay, now we have motherboard 2, and we're gonna see if this guy works correctly with its new trigger. So we're gonna start off with that, and we're going to now test it out. Wow, alright guys, so we got the trigger number 2 working. This is so exciting. Alrighty, I'll meet you back when we get to trigger number 3. Alright guys, so unfortunately the third board did not work out for me. Something else is going on. It's probably some damage to the board itself. So unfortunately this one's going to be a bust. But that's okay, it still has value in other ways. And this board will definitely find some home somewhere. Alright guys, we're gonna see if this guy works. This is the original black DS, and we're gonna see if it works, alright? So 1, 2, 3, go. Oh my goodness. Would you look at that? It looks like we fixed the problem. So we are 3 for 4 for these motherboard repairs. So it looks like I was successful on this venture. So thank you for watching. I just want to thank you guys for watching my video. I know it's a little bit strange, but we got it all done. And I'm super happy we got it all done. And all these 3 DSs working. Despite this one board not quite working for us, I think that's still pretty good. 3 for 4, that's pretty good. And we still can get money off of this board. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. If you hated it, please let me know what I can do to improve. Have advice, I always welcome. But please, please, please join the community